Hi, so today we're talking about how to pick the perfect house. When you're out looking at homes, it's important to make sure you find a house that's going to be structurally sound and a good long-term investment. The first thing that we look at is the neighborhood. You want to make sure the neighborhood that you're looking at is one, close to work or convenient to family, within 15 or 20 minutes, because that can be quite a drive. The second is we want to make sure that the homes are stable and secure. And the way we do that is I look at the street. So as we see here, this street is nice and flat. It's also nice and wide. That's going to give us plenty of parking on the side of the street, so when you have company coming to visit, it's easy for them to park. We're also going to look at the sidewalk. As you can see here, this sidewalk's nice and wide, it's flat, it's level. And that's going to add a lot of value to the home when it comes to the community as a whole, knowing your neighbors. Instead of sitting in front of the television set at night, you'll be encouraged to go out and walk up and down the neighborhood, meet some of your neighbors, let the kids ride the bikes, and all in all, it adds to a better quality of living. The second thing we want to look at is the foundation of the house itself. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at the inside, and I can show you some of the things you want to pay attention to when you're looking at a house to purchase. And let's go ahead and get started. I'll show you on the inside. All right, so as we enter the house, one of the things I do like the most about this house is the fact that it's got a covered front porch. So when you're coming into the home and you have your groceries or your keys out, you have plenty of shelter from the rain, the wind, or even the sun to take your time as you go in through the front door. Now, one of the things we're talking about in the front door is you want to check to make sure that it shuts easily, and that if you need to, you can lock, well, when you lock the door, it locks easily as well. This shows us that the home is not putting any stress on the door or the frame of the door. We want it to open easily, and we want it to lock and unlock easily. So now let's talk about some of the cracks around the windows and the door frames. And for that, I always like to go to the outside wall of the house, which is what shows us, or the most likelihood of there being a foundation movement or shift. So this wall here is an exterior wall, and this is an exterior wall. So the most likely point you'll find a crack or any kind of movement is up in this corner here. And what we're looking for is a vertical crack from the window to the corner of the house. That's the most likely place you'll find the stress of a home when it's shifting. Now, the second thing we want to look at is the doors and how they open and shut. Like the door swing test, if you will. What you want to do is open the door and let it sit, and then move it and let it sit. Now, you may get a little bit of movement, but what you don't want is the door swinging open hard or swinging shut hard. This way you know that this area of the house is flat and level. Now, as you walk through the house, pay attention to the way the floor feels. As you walk through the house, you can feel if the home is unlevel or if it's sliding one direction or another. And this home, in my opinion, flows really, really well. I didn't feel any kind of downshifting or movement in the home. Now, there are some cases where the home will have a little bit of movement, but that's a case-by-case basis, and there would be other factors involved. So from this point, we want to look at the appliances, we want to look at the plumbing system, we want to look at the electrical system, the air conditioning system, and of course the roof is going to be one of the things we want to consider when evaluating a home for purchase. Okay, so here we're going to evaluate the water heater. Now with the water heater, what we want to do is make sure that it has good ventilation and that it's all intact. We also want to make sure the components of the water heater are newer and not damaged or old. The pressure relief valve is something that we want to make sure that it flows away from the water heater and it has no obstructions in the event it does have to release the pressure. Now, to find the age of the water heater, you would check on this tab and it would tell you how old the water heater is. This one happens to be 2 years old. Most water heaters last between 10 and 12 years, depending on whether or not you have a water softener. Now, from this looks of this one, this is what you want to see when you're evaluating a water heater. Now, when you're in the kitchen, what you want to do is pay attention to the kitchen countertops, the cabinetry, and of course the appliances. When you're evaluating the cabinetry, you want to look for the heavier duty doors. This will tell you a lot about the quality and the stability of the cabinetry, as well as the hinges. And we want to check all of the drawers to make sure that they are easy glide doors. Now, we also pay attention to the backsplash and the kitchen sink. We really particularly like deeper kitchen sinks. That makes it easier when doing dishes. Also, while you're in the kitchen, turn on the water so you can check the water pressure of the house. That is obviously a very important part of the quality of living. Now, not every house comes with a refrigerator, but this one happens to come with a refrigerator. You can put that in the value when making your bid. So we're back outside, and while we're out here, I want to show you some other critical components of the house. One is the electrical meter. We want to check that, and where you find the electric meter, you also find the electric panel. Now, this one has been upgraded. As you can see, there's plenty of slots available for if you wanted to upgrade the house by adding a hot tub or some other large electrical appliance. You do not need to upgrade the panel because it's already in that condition. The air conditioning system is one of the other features we want to look at. Your air conditioner will last probably 12 to 15 years depending on how well you take care of it. The way you find out the age of the air conditioning system is by reading the little tag right down here, and it'll give you the age. And that concludes our house hunting tutorial. I hope you found the information informative. If you have any questions, you can reach me by phone or text at the number down below.